Brief report tonight. I'm Brad Allamong from the Chamber of Commerce. This morning at 10 o'clock we had a media briefing on a topic that's going to be on your agenda tonight with regard to the Horizon campaign. Just a point of clarification, the Horizon Initiative campaign was relevant to only parts of the Horizon Vision project. So we're only one slice of what is a much bigger picture. We deal with the economic and community development issues. And in this campaign, there's a document that's going down the line there that outlines for you what we were raising money for in the private sector. At budget time last year, we came to council and we said that we would like to ask your support of $40,000 with the county's $40,000, and we would match that with $120,000. Our report this morning had to be updated because we had more receipts today, but the campaign has concluded. Our goal to raise $120,000 has quite frankly been exceeded. It's now $134,000 plus raised in the campaign. We have collected, as of this afternoon, $104,000. We have pledges outstanding that would make up that difference to reach the figure of $134,000. Pledges from the companies that we request support from have been coming in steady, and we have had no loss in any of our pledges that were made to the campaign. But just a comment about why we did this in the first place. As you see on that document that talks about primary projects that we wanted to run, we wanted to have a targeted industry analysis. And we did that for a very specific reason. If you go through a process to identify those companies which match the community, it matches up with the properties that you have, it matches with the industries that are already in place, it matches the workforce. It becomes your prospects, the companies that we recruit. But in the past, we have had to rely upon, at least for the last several years, on leads that are generated by the state of Tennessee, TECD, primarily, some from TVA. And those leads are shared across the state of Tennessee. So a lead that would come into Crossville to Cumberland County would equally go to other communities in this region, if not statewide. If you do a targeted industry approach, we're looking for those companies that would be our prospects. And they're our prospects for a reason. They match. It gives us a guideline. But I've told you time and time again that if we don't fix other issues, such as workforce, it doesn't matter who we recruit, we're not going to be successful. And it's not just a marketing issue, it is also an issue of retaining what we have. It's an existing industry approach to be able to address workforce issues in Cumberland County. Over the course of this year, the Chamber has went ahead and fronted the money to run a bare bones economic development office. And in your budget there, it's about the third paragraph down, we have $48,000 in that budget, which basically allows us to have a support person plus marketing materials to run that function. The Chamber Board this past year said, we're not going to go out and hire full-time professional development staff. We're just going to put Brad on loan to the program. So it is one person, myself, plus support. The final item on that page is a feasibility study to determine whether or not we can raise funds beyond this year. So if we raise $134,000 this year to do studies and run a program, from the results of those studies, knowing what industries we're going to recruit, can we put together a program that could be funded multi-year? Now, since I have a maybe not a objective look, the question was whether or not we should retain counsel, fundraising counsel, to tell us whether or not we could hit targets. And if we're at 1 year raising $134,000, you could be looking at a program that may be in excess for a 5-year campaign or a 4-year campaign of trying to raise close to $1 million. So, all that said, it's been a pretty good year. We've gotten a lot of things accomplished. A lot of the foundation pieces are in place based upon the visioning work that was done earlier, over a year and a half, 19 different venues that we went out and we talked to the people what they needed. It was very clear. We have an obligation to the citizens of Cumberland County to try to create jobs. Good jobs, good pay, good benefits. We were successful in applying for the State of Tennessee Property Evaluation Program, which we didn't have when we started this whole campaign idea. So that's more input to the process. The visioning piece is done, so we're not going to have to hire a consultant to make 19 trips into Crossville and talk to people. We did it by ourselves. So these pieces being in place are very important. And so what we've done is we've come to the council and asked for a release of the funds of $40,000. If I were sitting in your spot, my question would be, where's the county? The county check of $40,000 has been cut and is sitting in the office of Mayor Carey. Are there any questions?
I have one. You feel comfortable that doing this locally is more economical and more feasible than doing it regionally, co-op with somebody else, i.e. Island, along the lines?
Well, having been involved in a 5-county regional program in another state, there's things that you can do at the regional level to help cut costs in terms of marketing. But in that example, we started with these studies. We did an analysis of what we offered. Were we strong? Were we weak? Where could we make up deficiencies? From that, we identified targets, but the targets were regional targets, which we all could share in. But every community is a competitor in the process. We all try to sell our community because we want those jobs locally. The other thing about economic development is that people try to make it sometimes a little simple and say it's just about jobs. It's also about expanding the tax base, because these companies will bring with them taxable property. They will bring with them jobs and people we hope will own homes and pay taxes and support the communities where they're located. So regionally, we could cooperate in some of these initiatives, but still it's a competitive environment, and we are trying to identify those companies that fit Crossville and Cumberland County so we can try to recruit them here to enjoy all of the benefits that come with economic development.
Along with that question, what does it cost? Do you know what it costs to get involved with the Islands Initiative?
I do not. I don't.
I can answer that.
Okay.
We hadn't been invited yet. We hadn't asked to be part of it. So they would make that decision when and if we asked to be, from my understanding.
I've got a question. Wasn't Highland Initiative, weren't they a mover in Ficosa? Weren't they a player in Ficosa moving out of the city?
Well, one of the things that happened over the course of the last year is that our community lost an industry. Moved 35 miles away. And as a community, we're hurt by that.
I didn't answer the question.
Whether or not they were directly involved in recruiting the industry, that I couldn't answer.
These donors that have committed this, we're at 130 or whatever, they have made these commitments in reference to this information that you've given us tonight, not on any other Zone Alliance or Highland Initiative or anything else like that?
No. The contributions that I've talked about represent 40 or more contributors. There were 3 grants. The grant amounts were $5,000, $1,500, and I believe $500. So the rest all came from contributions from corporations or individuals. A little context. The Chamber of Commerce basic membership dues is $209 a year. For the most part, the smallest contribution we received was $1,000. 5 times the amount of annual dues from companies, on an average, was what was committed by 40. 40 is 10% of the Chamber's membership.
Is this budget that you have here, Brad, is it what you come to the county and the city a year ago and these individuals, is this what they were told this money was going to be spent?
It's actually slightly less, because the original budget was calling for $238,000 for the total program. And because we were able to do some things ourselves this year, such as the visioning piece and whatever value the input is going to be from the property evaluation program, we kept moving. We just kept moving forward. And it's like I said before, because we needed the economic development support, the Chamber went ahead and paid for that this past year. We asked for the money in the budget cycle preparing for the 2015-2016 fiscal year. And a comment on that. I believe on June 26th or 27th, we concluded that we had hit 120,000. So now it's 2 weeks later and we've actually exceeded that. These programs that I'm suggesting on that piece of paper are done by large communities. If you look at metropolitan areas, they all follow a standard process of analyzing what they have to offer to identify who they should offer those benefits to. And so we've actually gone a step further this past year by doing the things that we have done, visioning and also the cooperative agreement, that we've gone out and we've asked the council and the commission and Roan State and TCAT and school district to sign on to, that we all need to work together in partnership. That's kind of unique. And we've shared those ideas, as I've mentioned in the past, with the Governor's Rural Development Task Force. And I had some feedback, and I'm going to say it's anecdotal at this point, that what we were doing in Crossville and Cumberland County was noteworthy.
But you don't have any feedback on that yet?
No. I think that we've actually, because I'll say it this way, we've blown our own horn a little bit. I think that helped because it was very timely just before the first round of the state property evaluation program that we were selected. Did it play a role in that? Could have been.
Where do you fit in this at?
Where do I fit in this?
Yeah.
I'm not in that budget.
You know?
No, I'm on the chamber budget.
So you're going to hire exclusively the
Support staff?
market analysis
Yeah.
individual.
Well, and that will be consulting time. It's not going to be a person that we put in place and we continue to fund.
Right.
It's going to be a one-time expenditure. Now after that, it's up to the chamber board to decide how much of my time is going to be allocated to executing the plan.
You're going to hire a professional firm.
Yes. And we've talked to 2 firms so far to get the numbers. Boyette Strategic Advisors out of Arkansas and Market Street out of Atlanta, Georgia. Market Street has been involved in a consulting relationship with the community of Nashville, and Boyette has done a lot of work with TBA and is probably at the root of the Knoxville Innovation Valley project. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.